Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another week of The Kevin Show. This is a show that's not scripted, not planned. It's really not about much of anything except me doing whatever I'm going to do in front of the camera. And this time, I'm going to be chatting up a good friend of mine, Michael Bunker. He's an author. He's got a movie deal. We can talk about all that stuff and just make some stuff up as we go. But first things first, you're going to have to sit through this. Isn't that lovely? That was beautiful. Thanks for sticking around through that. And now we're going to bring up Michael. And hey, man, look at that.
I'm looking
all
at
that beard and very little Michael attached to it.
I'm looking at my script. Hold on. Hello, Kevin. Your show is the best show.
You're diverging from the plan.
Oh, yours is the best show I've ever watched on the internet.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna discount the amount we agreed upon by at least 5%, though.
You'll get
How you
it all
doing,
back.
man?
I'm doing wonderfully. I'm running like I'm crazy, but I'm actually I'm having a good time.
You're the king of having a good time. Actually, I don't know. You may be one of the few people who was completely and utterly prepared for the pandemic.
Yeah. There's a cost of 20 years waiting for it, but once it happens, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You're going to be my single source of lard, though. When all this really hits the fan.
Yeah, lard's going to be gold, and I got lots of it. I don't have any on me anymore, but I have some on some animals that I've stored.
I know. Your last time you and I talked was on my Wordslinger podcast. Which, if anyone's listening and you've never heard of the Wordslinger podcast, you're probably a reader and not a writer. So that is a show where I talk to authors about their work. And I talked to Michael, and he was a good 100+ pounds heavier at that time. So
90.
You lost like a whole human being.
I've lost a small woman.
A small woman, a petite woman, but you're going for more, huh?
Yeah, I have to. Not that I want to. I wanted to stop at around 200, but I'm trying to get down to like 10% body fat because this is all for no other reason than I might get an opportunity to be in the movie that's based on my book if the end of the world would stop. And
yes.
And so in order to do that, I got to get really lean, and then I got to bulk up. But to get really lean, you got to go to a certain percentage, and so I may end up really skinny before I turn the corner and start putting it back on.
Yeah, that's impressive. I didn't know that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Into the movie. So now we have to talk about the movie, though.
We got to talk. Well, we don't have to, but this thing is unscripted, so we can
talk about the movie. But that's what I want to know about. Like how's that going? First of all, the movie's based on your book, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Which is sci-fi. I'm trying to show you because we talked before this started about how radio guys would bring you on. They didn't know a squat about you. So I'm letting you know what I know. And it's going to be called, last time I checked the IMDb entry for this, they called it, were they calling it New Pennsylvania?
New Pennsylvania is the name of the film.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm supposed to go now. Okay.
You can go now.
We sold an option on the novel. It's a science fiction novel in 2015, and it kind of sat and it boiled around. And we had a big name director that was going to attach, and then they dropped out. And then a year ago, April 13th, today's the 15th. A year ago, April 13th, we attached Patrick Tatopoulos, who's one of the biggest production directors in all of Hollywood. I mean. And the thing is, he's better than people who know him think he is. He's really, really, really good. And so he's going to be the director of the film. And so things were rolling, and I couldn't talk about it and all this, but all this stuff was happening. And so we got through December. The scripts went out in January. They're like, we're going to start filming in maybe June, July period. And then this happened. So, and all the time, I wrote this.
Yes, you mean
Yeah,
The apocalypse suddenly
we make
unfolded.
our plans and God laughs. And so there's a role that I might be able to play, a couple of roles I might get to play in the movie, not two at one time, one or the other. But and so they told me, we're going to audition you for this role in the movie. But the guy's like, and I started at 278, but I was like 230, 240 in January. Yeah. But they said, you got to be just solid muscle. So anyway, so I was working on that, and then I was planning on 6 to 9 months being on set. And then all of a sudden this deal happened. The film is we're in good shape. It could have been worse. The worst thing that could have happened was that we got pre-production started and spent a bunch of money. And so there were actually films out there that had like 2 days left in filming, and they had to shut down. And if that happens, it's possible that the studio could just write it off. They could just get the insurance money and the movie never gets made. So the fact that we never started pre-production was actually a hidden bonus. So everything's just on pause right now, and everybody's still feeling good about it. And I talked to Patrick the other day, and he's still feeling very positive that if we get through this and everything goes back and starts working again, then so that's all I want to talk about the movie.
Okay, that's all you want to talk about?
No, I'm just saying that's not why I came on here. I came here to talk to my buddy Kevin. I have questions to ask you.
That. You can ask me anything. Let's do it.
Okay. So one of the things that's fascinated me about you, because when you live my life, which is completely off grid, completely atypical, just bizarre, doing things your own way, not hooked up to the grid. And then you kind of put everybody in a box, you're like, this guy's living in the suburbs and he's and then you're way different. And so like a year or so ago, you went out in the camper deal, and I was fascinated. I was like, wow, that's kind of like, it's a version of what I'm doing, but it's cool because you have to think about things. You have to think about whether or not you have enough power, or whether or not you need to hook up to a landline, or whether you'd have water, or where's the next place you're going to dump your septic. Most people live through life. They don't think about anything. Right. They don't think about anything.
Think about where your poop goes.
Or if you flip on the light, what actually happens to make it come on? I mean, something happens.
Right. Yeah. Or how long can I keep that light on before I can't turn lights on anymore?
Right. You have to consider air conditioning. You consider. And so I call that living deliberately. Yeah. It's not that it's any particularly harder, but you actually have to think about it. And so when I find somebody who has to actually think about what they're doing, I'm intrigued and I'm attracted to that. And so I used to follow all that when you were doing it. And now you're, Lord willing, going to get back into it. So my question is, hopefully, what about it was like, I want to go back and do this?
Because that's funny, because when we came off the road last time, I was 100% sure Carol would never want to do it again, because she liked it well enough, but there were some things about it that she just didn't dig. But we were actually about to buy a house. Like, we had gotten through the whole process, and we were signing paperwork, and we were getting ready, and they were asking for a little more money, and we could have come up with the money. And we decided, well, let's look around and see what else is out there. Let's just make double sure. If we're going to pay more, out of pocket, let's make double sure this is the house. And we're driving around these neighborhoods, and we start talking about like my book income and stuff. And, actually what we started talking about was, we like this neighborhood, we like that house, we like these features. We'd rather have some property to maybe build something on or whatever. And she just out of the blue, just like the first time, she came to my office and said, I think I'd like to try moving into an RV and traveling for a while. That's blowing me away, right? She did it again. She's like, I think if it weren't for my income needing to be me having to go into an office every day, I would do the RV thing again.
Right.
And I'm like, I make plenty of money from book sales. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah.
And there we were off to the races.
See, that's fascinating to me, and it just makes my heart sing.
That's what it's supposed to be about, right? That's a whole.
That's right. That's right.
That's why we do this stuff.
Yeah, you're doing it because you want to go out there and experience life, and think about things and actually be deliberate about what you're doing and how things work.
Yeah.
I've had people visit out here before, and just the concept in Central Texas of water, just
Yeah.
that you have to think about it. You have to think about what you're using it on and how much you're using. And
Yes. Yeah. That's the same thing with us, because we can carry 40 gallons of water with us, and that's it. And
yeah,
we can hold 40 gallons of black water.
yeah,
So we have to, there's a balance there, and another 40 gallons of gray water, which is kind of convenient, but
right.
you have to balance all that out. So
Yeah. You have to think about
take
it.
a shower, yeah.
We started out here, and the year after, 6 months after we moved out here, we went into a 7-year drought, and it was the worst drought in Texas history. And it was so bad that, we would actually, if it rained, we had a catchment tank behind our house, and the whole family would get up in the rain, and we would we didn't have piping going where we needed everything. So we actually would go and bucket it out and carry it to where we needed the water to go, so we could store it, so we could catch more water, because there was more water coming. Right.
That's
And so then I had to go take some cattle. Yeah. So I had to go take some cattle to a friend where we used to live. And we went out there, and, he lives on grid and all that. And he just had the garden hose running into his yard, and the whole yard was like under 2 inches of water. And he was like talking on the phone and stuff. And we were like walking through 2 inches of water. And for us, that was just like someone walking on money. It's like if you had 3 inches of money covering your front yard, and you were just like talking on the phone, and some pauper came up there, and they were like, look at this. But that's the way we were. And that's the way we still are about pretty much everything. So
yeah,
you
guys are way, you're on a whole other level from what we're doing. I mean, at least there's services we can go to. We can refill our water,
right.
If we're off grid, if we're out boondocking or something, then we have to really be conservative about everything. But but the thing is, you kind of point this out, like, you suddenly have to think about everything. Like nothing is ever just sit down and do it. Like even this stuff,
Right.
Like the video and all that stuff that I'm gonna have to do, I have to, because of the size of the camper, and I'm going to actually be using the back seat of my truck as an office space, right? But I have to take everything. Oh, did we drop out?
No, I'm here. I don't know.
I think we briefly dropped out.
Okay, but I'm here. I don't know about
you.
You.
Okay,
I'm here.
I have to actually. Yeah, we're back. We're back. I literally have to take everything, set it up, do the show, break it down, and put it away. And it's like that with everything. Everything becomes a process. Got to empty the black tank, empty the gray water, refill the water, all that. It's all a constant, like, figure it out and do it. I love it though. It's kind of like a combination of minimalist and off grid, but you're at a whole other level of that.
Well, it's funny because, with the Hollywood thing going on, the contradictions are just so thick. And so, people would like, you got to take meetings and stuff, and people would call and they're like, or they would send me a message and they would say, hey, can you jump on the phone here in 5 minutes? We're going to have a meeting. I was like, no, because I got to walk up to the top of the land where I can get a freaking signal. And then it's raining outside. So yeah, I'll be there, but I'll be there in like 10 minutes standing in the rain. And then, we had this whole thing going on, and there was a whole lot of stuff. Like they wanted to buy other options on other books of mine, because that may end up being a franchise and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, we got to get you to talk to this lawyer. And so my phone is the only, if it's not sunny, I got no power. I have my phone, and my phone just got cut off that day because I do a prepaid phone, right? And so I actually had to borrow $60 from my daughter to get my phone on so I could talk to a Hollywood lawyer about a movie deal. I was going to write a book about the whole thing. It was just insane. But you have to do that. People just go, hey, can we just jump on right now and do like 5 minutes? I'm like, yeah, but I got like 15 things I got to do to even make the internet work.
Yeah. We got to solve problems for you, man. We're going to apply our VR knowledge to some of your problems. I think we can solve some of your dilemmas.
We need it. I need it, because my dilemmas are like a squirrel running around in a little thing, and then you got like the sun's not out, so I got to go get a sundial or something.
So you're about to do it, even something even crazier though, because you're doing this. I don't know the full details on this one, You're doing
I'm
an
going to tell you
off-grid
that.
challenge.
I'm doing a
By the way,
30-day. Go ahead.
everybody listening, you feel free to ask us questions. And if
Yeah.
you're on my my wall, it probably won't show up. I'm trying to monitor it, but I can't post those questions on here, but I should be able to see them. So ask us questions. We'll talk about anything. But go ahead, Michael. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man.
No, that's okay. So I was kind of like you. You were sitting around going, "Hey, what are we going to do?" And so I had all of these things going on at the same time, and people were like pounding me because I do all these off-grid videos and how to do stuff videos. And now with the pandemic, everybody's asking me questions about how to do things and what to buy and how to live and all this kind of stuff. And so at the same time, my infrastructure here, my internet infrastructure and everything and power infrastructure is so bad. It's just laughably bad. So I was trying to find a way to harmonize these things. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a 30-day off-grid lockdown challenge. And basically the way it's going to work. Now, if I had done this 2012, it would be a different story. And I'll talk about that. But basically what I'm going to do is the scenario is it's what's happening, but it's worse. So some type of systemic collapse, can't leave the property, can't go anywhere. And not that you can, I can go to Walmart, but I can't go over here. And no, can't leave the property or anything. And like I said, in 2012, 2015, we had storehouse full of stuff. We had fields full of grain. We had all my children were younger. So we had a lot of labor. We had food. We had a meat hanging in the smokehouse. But all of that, because of the movie and the fact that back in October, November, we figured that right now I was going to be gone for 6 to 9 months. We basically divested ourselves of a lot of things. Our root cellar is pretty much empty. We do not have any crops in the field. We did not plant spring or gardens or anything. And so I'm living like a lot of people in their little house. And we got maybe, I've got some animals. So I got lard that's still walking around. But so I thought, what better way to show people not just the skills and the mindset and the philosophy, but how difficult it can be, but everything else. Then I'm just going to do it for 30 days. I'm going to make a video every day and we're going to push it up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and people can watch a 30-day challenge of me alone, just survive. And it's going to be a real survival challenge. And I can't, like, let's just say, and I do have some food put away. I'm not a prepper. There's preppers out there. They got way more food than me. But I can't just eat everything I have. And then 30 days from now, this thing gets worse. Yeah. And then I'm like, sorry, I did it for a shtick on YouTube. I ate all the food. So, there's going to be a lot to it, and it's going to be pretty fascinating and fun and crazy. And it's probably the wrong time in the history of my life for me to do it, but that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you've heard, maybe you haven't heard because you're out there kind of in the sticks, but there's a global pandemic going on.
No, did that happened? I wouldn't even know. Yeah, no. It's a weird time for me to be doing this, but it's the perfect time because people are like hammering me. Like I get 20 messages every day from people who are like, how do I plant a garden? How do I do this? And so I don't have a garden right now. I'm going to be planting it on the 30-day challenge. People are going to watch it.
Brian Wade Davis says that he'll watch it. So you got at least one viewer. I'll watch it.
We're going to start with, it's going to be fascinating. And so I'm going to do everything I can. We're going to make candles. We're going to make beer. We're going to make other things that are probably illegal. We're going to probably catch some animals. We're probably going to do some butchering. We're probably going to, we're going to
be hunting, man.
I'm going to be
fireworks, doing some monkey fights.
Yeah. Think about Survivor Man.
Yes.
During a pandemic, and he's got a barn full of old rusty tools and a couple of other things. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm not going to be sleeping in a tent very much. But other than that, it's going to be pretty wild.
Okay. I'm definitely watching, but part of me wants to play along. Maybe after you're done, we can arrange for me to try this for 30 days.
I'll be your guru. I'll be your, like on Hunger Games. I'll be your, what was the guy from Cheers? From Hunger Games.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
I'll be your Woody Harrelson, and I'll just have drinks, and I'll be like, "You got to run that way."
I don't know. I think I would I know where my challenges would be, but I think I could do it. I think I could do it. But then again, I'm pretty soft these days. Who knows? I
Well,
don't
here's
do all
the
the
thing,
outdoor stuff I used
and
to
I
do.
include myself in this. If you've watched, there's only one real Survivor show on television, and it's called Alone on the History Channel. And the longest anybody has gone on that show in 6 seasons is 87 days. And 95% of people don't make it 30 days. So, and these are trained professionals. These are not like people they plucked off the street and said, "Hey, guy, go out here with a knife and just survive." It's way difficult, more difficult than anybody can possibly imagine. Now, I have some benefits. I've been living out here for 15 years and I know how to do stuff and all that. So and I can go 30 days without eating at all. So, it's not like I'm saying I'm going to get eaten by a bear or a cheetah or something like that. But it's going to be interesting because at the same time, the pandemic that's going on is real. I can't just end up this month with no food and nothing. And then all of a sudden they're like, guys, it got worse. The riots started.
Maybe it's a way to conserve all the food you have
I'm trying. I'm gonna try to do what I can do.
Brian Wade Davis asks, he says, "Sorry, Michael, just tuned in. Where are you located? West Texas?"
I am depending on who you're talking to, because the people in Southeast Texas have zero geographical understanding of anything. So people in Austin, in San Antonio and all that, which are in Southeast Texas, think that Central Texas is where they are. But actually, if you threw a dart in the middle of Texas and it hit right in the center, I'm 50 miles from that dart. But don't throw darts at Texas.
Don't throw darts at Texas. That's the first rule we learn when we go through Texas school.
That's right. Do not throw darts at Texas. But I'm right. I'm actually when I say Central Texas, these people that live on I-35 are like, we live in Central Texas. No, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. If you can see a highway, and you probably don't live in Central Texas.
That's right. That's right.
We, I'm still in South Texas. We're in the Sugarland area now. I grew up around here, really. So this is where, I always tell people if I went any further south, I'd be knee deep in the Gulf of Mexico. So I'm definitely not Central Texas.
No. But these people sitting there in Austin, at the bar in Austin, all think they live in Central Texas. They just have never seen a map, apparently.
They have not, of their own state. This I can believe from Austin. I can totally believe it. They think they're in LA, I think. Or no, I think most of them think they're maybe in Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
It's strange. So
it's a strange place. But I like it, but it's strange.
I do like Austin. I know I give it kind of a hard time, but it is kind of fun. I haven't been there. I haven't been back in a while. We bought our camper just outside of Austin, so that the last time we were there, we actually were at an RV resort there. I
got a lot of author friends there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of authors in Austin.
Oh, a bunch of them, man. Yeah, they're thick as full. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting an author in Austin.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Brian Wade Davis, Sweeney in the house. We are representing. We're from the same small town, Sweeney, Texas. It's not even on its own map.
There you go.
This is inaccurate information about Sweeney, Texas. So you're okay, man. You're burning it up though. You got the whole movie deal, and you got, you're going to do this. You're going to have your own Survivor show soon, I'm sure. Discovery Channel will stumble across your YouTube videos and keep making.
They've had a couple opportunities already. We did a whole pilot for Discovery Channel, and
was
a
it
couple
off grid stuff?
Yeah.
We were in that documentary.
It's funny. They contacted us and they were like, "Hey, we want to do a documentary, not a documentary. We want to do a reality show." And of course, we wouldn't do half the stuff they wanted to do, which was, just drama and fake kind of stuff. Yeah, they wanted to like bring in like some weirdos and stuff and make them our neighbors, and then we don't get along with them and all this kind of stuff. But they came out and we did a whole pilot and all that. They call it a sizzle reel, and we did all that. And then I got contacted by who was the governor out in Minnesota who was like a libertarian or who was a wrestler.
Oh,
that guy.
I don't remember his name. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy had a show and they contacted us, and I've been contacted 3 or 4 times, but nobody actually wants to do a real show that would actually be better than
Yeah.
the crap that they imagine something and they're like, what if you were like cooking a skunk in the oven and it exploded or something like that? It's like they, their idea of what drama is, huh?
Yeah. They got all their knowledge about people who live in the South from like old episodes of Beverly Hillbillies or something. Like
Exactly.
that's what I think everyone is.
It's exactly right. And I'm sitting here talking about Russian literature and theology and using words they don't even know and they're having to look up.
We're okay. So I had something I was going to throw in there and it totally blew out of my brain. Let's go back to talking about. Oh no. Okay. So the off-grid stuff, you were in a documentary,
right?
And there were several people featured in that. Actually, no, what I was actually going to say was, isn't it interesting that we live in a time now where we could do that show ourselves if we wanted?
Yeah.
And there are people doing content like that now. It's kind of like TV has become YouTube now, by the way. Have you noticed?
Oh, I know. And it's better. It's better than what the TV was,
It's so much better. Like seeing like the late night shows broadcasting out of their garage or some closet in their house or something. I'm like, I feel like we have a bond now. Like I couldn't relate.
It started before this whole thing, Seinfeld was doing the show from his car. And then, you had the other guys started doing shows where they were sitting around in their car and they were trying to kind of take from this, the whole YouTube idea. And so that was kind of drifting that way. And then this, of course, forced it to happen. But you're exactly right. The show we could do would be so much better.
Yeah.
And I actually pitched him a show where it was basically if you took Bourdain and it would be a Bourdain-like show, but it was all going to be about indies, but it was indie everything. So I would go visit people who were living off grid, people who are indie authors, people who are indie winemaking, people who are indie movies, indie, just everything. And people that are making their own race cars, people doing these YouTube shows. And like every episode I would travel, we would go and see what they do, learn all about it, have a meal together. And I'm kind of poetic. And so do a whole Bourdain kind of thing. That show would be huge. And the fact that they were like, we don't get it. We don't get it. So
we don't get it.
We're like,
who Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah, well, that, and they're like, nobody wants to see anything indie. Yeah, they do. That's what's going on right now.
They're out of touch. I'm telling you, like they have no clue what this scene is about because they're only focused on what they already know.
Right?
That's why we keep the same movie over and over again, the same TV show over and over again.
Exactly right. And I'm telling you what, that show right there, if anybody steals my idea, I will find out where you are and I was think bad things about you.
This is an idea I like well enough to claim it as my own and pretend like I came up with it all by myself.
It's a good idea.
Because at various times, like me, I know Ernie Dempsey, we all kind of come up with this same general idea of, wouldn't it be great to have a show that focuses? Well, we were always aiming at indie authors, but I like the idea of going like, you got much more range if you just start talking to everybody that's doing something independent.
Well, you could do like indie race car drivers, indie rappers. There are people that are out there just doing stuff that we haven't even thought of half the stuff out there that people are just doing on their own. People are taking cars like classic Mustangs and stuff, and they're ripping out all of the everything that has to do with a gas motor, and they're putting Tesla motors in them.
I've seen
they're screaming fast, man, and they're out there racing them and stuff like that, and nobody has a clue. See, that would be there's a show right there.
Oh, that's like you could do 2 or 3 episodes off of something like that, actually.
Oh yeah, and every one of these things would become a show because you and
I didn't write our book that we were supposed to write together. So
I know.
You get your movie money, and you get your movie influence. Let's make a show.
Yeah, we're gonna make a show because that to me, that is one of the best shows. And then because people are interested if the host is interested, and so I'm fascinated. So to me, the whole living in an RV life is indie. It
Yeah, I
is
think so.
what indie is. And so
And
to
I know
me,
a
to
ton
a,
of RVers. Oh, these
yeah,
guys. Look, this is the Russos. We're the Russos.
yeah.
Joe, if you're watching, it's like they're sponsors of the show, but they pay me in friendship. Um, so Michael, man, we're at the end. Didn't that go by fast? That was
It was
ridiculously
wonderful.
fast.
I want to do it again.
Everybody listening, I hope that you were distracted for a full 30 minutes, and you can always rewatch this thing. There's a lot of cool stuff in this. This is an interesting interview with my good friend here, Michael Bunker, who's going to be super famous because of his movie, because he's going to get a role in it. He's going to start starring in other stuff. Look for him on the big screen.
There
The
we
next
go.
James the bearded James Bond. So that's it, man. We're gonna wrap it up here. Michael, you can stick around. Everyone else, you get to watch a little something and say goodbye. Tier, we'll see you next time. I promise there's gonna be more of these. So see you there. I forgot to end it. What are you doing here? See ya.
Just whatever, man.